All right, hey everybody, how are you guys doing today? So today is a pretty fun idea. I think we discussed it during the podcast yesterday, which by the way, it's in the videos below if you missed it. It was very fun. We're talking about very old like boogeymen and these kind of like scare your kids into bed stories, and a very classic Spanish one came to mind, which is El Coco. It's apparently like very like super extended all over the Spanish-speaking world. So if you are from the Spanish-speaking world and you know what El Coco is, raise your hand. Or there's different slight variations. I think some places call it El Cuco, and other variations I don't remember right now, but it all stems from the same place. So I think a lot of people might have heard lullaby similar to Duérmete niño, duérmete ya, que viene el coco y te comerá. Like, sleep, kid, sleep now, or the coco will come and it will eat you. Which is, it's a fun one. It's a fun way to get your kids into bed, scaring them into being eaten. So that's what we're gonna try to do today. It should be a fun one to try and, I guess, update or represent in some way. So yeah, I hope everyone's had a great day so far. Okay, here's I guess let's do a little primer on what a coco is. I got some Wikipedia stuff here. So coca in some places as well, or cucuy, cuca, cucu, cucuy. There's a lot of variations all across the Spanish-speaking world, and also the Portuguese-speaking world apparently. So it's not exactly known where the word coco comes from. It's kind of debated, but it might come all the way from Latin. And the funny thing is, this has been a boogeyman at least in Spain since at least the 15th century. It might be way older, but the first written description we have of El Coco is from the 15th century, which makes it very, very old. The funny thing is that the word for coconut, which is just coco in Spanish, comes from Spanish explorers / colonizers finding this coconut and saying it reminded them of El Coco's face, with like just 2 eyes and a mouth, and they named it after El Coco, which is a funny way of saying that the word coconut comes from this weird boogeyman story. Makes it quite fun. Hey Kobo. JJ, okay, so the Ghost of Kiev. That seems like a very, like, that would take a quite a long time, I'm afraid. It's not a quick edit kind of subject. Hey Stephanie. So yes, that's the idea for tonight. El Coco. I hope some of you in chat have heard about El Coco. If you've grown up in any Spanish-speaking country, you probably have, or at least one of the Coco's versions. This is a drawing by Goya, Francisco Goya, one of, possibly the most well-known Spanish artist of all time, who did this series of etchings based on like folklore things or little sayings, kind of represent them graphically. And one of them is que viene el coco. The coco is coming. We don't see exactly. I would have loved it to have a more direct representation of El Coco, But it's just this hooded figure, and the kids are just terrified, screaming. So we still don't have, like, I think the only, and that's kind of what makes it funny, the only physical description there is of El Coco comes from people naming the coconut after it, which means that we'll probably go for something like that. It might be slightly silly, but we'll try and make it scary. I assumed this was going to be about the new Pokemon starter. Yeah, okay, yeah, the new Pokemon starter is called Fuecoco, which is fuego, fire, and coco, which comes from cocodrilo, which is a Spanish word for crocodile. Because for some reason everyone says crocodile with CR, but in Spain we took the R and moved it around, so it's cocodrilo. It's DR. Why? I don't know. It's probably a mispronunciation that just got carried around and ended up being the good way of saying it. So I don't think it has anything to do with coconuts in this case. But I love that starter. Oh yeah, and I'm excited about this new Pokemon game based in Spain. I was joking saying I hope they model my house. But for real, I hope they model the northern area, because a lot of people they focus on the southern area of Spain because it's like the most touristy place, like basically the whole coast from the east, from Barcelona down to the south, and Seville and the whole southern area, possibly the most well-known parts. There's definitely going to be some references to El Quijote with like windmills and stuff, I'm sure about that. So that's like the central area of Spain. I'm unsure what they'll do with the north. My two theories is that it either doesn't exist, or it's just like a small area that's either a mountain area for ice Pokemon, or a very forested area. The one big forest in the regions in the north. And I assume that's what's going to be used to represent like the area I live in, because it's very green, it's very forested, it's also colder than the rest of Spain, so it's either going to be a cold area or a green area. We'll see. But yes, Cocodrilo. So back to El Coco. El Coco is this fantastic figure, and I don't know if it says it in the Spanish Wikipedia. So many, here in physical representation, there are some places that, I think in Portugal, that represent the Coco as a dragon, which is a fun thing. But here is the origin for the word coconut. The sailors of Vasco da Gama called the fruit of the Polynesian palm tree coco. The word coconut is derived from their name. So they saw this fruit and they were like, this looks like El Coco, like this boogeyman. So they named it literally Coco. So I think that's more or less where the direction we gotta go in. I heard the French name of the fire starter is very funny. Oh yeah, it's it's Totodile, which would be basically pussy tell them. She translated it in Spanish. It was not a great decision by them. There's a lot of things here about physical representations. Here, I guess it's calling Pokemon about dragons in many areas in Portugal. Traditionally in Portugal, Coco is represented by an iron pan with holes to represent a face with a light inside. So kind of a jack-o'-lantern thing in some places, or a vegetable lantern carved from a pumpkin. So kind of conflated with like the jack-o'-lantern, which is funny. According to Joao de Barros, the name of the coconut derived from coco and was given to the fruit by the sailors of Vasco da Gama, 1498. So it's like super old. We don't know how old this story is. Here's a quote. This bark from which the poem reserves its vegetable nourishment, which is through its stem, has an acute way which wants to resemble a nose placed between two round eyes, from where it throws a sprout when it wants to be born. By reason of such figure, it was called by our man Coco, name imposed by the women on anything they want to put fear on the children. This name thus remained. No one knows another. So I think the closest actual thing we have to a description of the Coco is the coconut. So I'm imagining like a very simple face with 2 holes for eyes, 1 hole for a mouth. Bistan, thank you for the follow. It's just a regular coconut with angry eyebrows. Absolutely. I also there's also a lot of descriptions with hooded cloaks, which is like a more traditional like boogeyman thing. We could cover the face or the face with a cloak in some way. Could be nice. See, even Don Quixote mentions the Coco. But yeah, that's more or less where we're at. So we need a coconut. If I write it well, that would be better. Thank you, Tristan. So let's see if I can find one where we can see like the little holes. All of them are opened. Hey, there we go. So this could be good. Something like this, I like it. It's kind of a ghostly face. Let's see if there are any other good ones. This is kind of hard to see. But I think the one we have, like this one at least, will work quite well. It also has like a grimy texture to it, which I think is fun. And I kind of like the idea of a creature's face just being a coconut. Hopefully it won't read directly as a coconut. Hopefully we'll just remind people of them. Here we have more sideways. It's not the biggest, but workable if needed. If we need like more sideways facing. Also, look at what I got. Yeah, that's to anyone that recognizes this. Okay, we'll run out of pictures here. Let's give a quick look through Pixabay as well. See what we can find. Well, this one kind of has a sad face if you look at it towards the side like this, kind of mouth and 2 side eyes. This is a sad Coco. There's a mouse living on one. That's cute. Anyway, I think we got what we need for now. We got a few different variations. Hopefully we'll be able to use any of them. Now, what I would like to put it in as background is a bedroom that dark bedroom that looks like a child's. So I know exactly what we'll be able to find. A kid bedroom, for example. Something like this, where we have a kid that's under the covers, kind of just implied to be there. Obviously scared of El Coco, and maybe the Coco is standing right behind him. I like this one quite a lot. It has a cool atmosphere as well. That kid's sleeping or something like that. Yeah, but this is close-ups. See, the one we found is pretty ideal because, you know, it has enough space to put like a looming figure behind it, which I think is the point. But we'll see. We'll give it a little scroll. See if we find anything else. Maybe we can find something under this one, kind of in related pictures. See if there's anything with a similar mood. I mean, if everything went wrong, I could always just like go get a picture of a bedroom, but this won't stress the Spider-Man. Let's see, I think we're running out of good pictures there. Yep. Let's give it a look in pixels as well. Kid sleeping. Or bedroom. It's all like daytime and clean. Kinda has that Instagram vibe. It even has Instagram filters. So everything kinda looks teal and orange. I love that. Once you learn to notice the teal and orange filter, like the one here and here, you'll see it everywhere. Like, it's crazy. They go so hard with it that they change the skin tones a bunch. People love those teal and orange filters. Hey, Vandals. Okay, nothing good here. So far I'm thinking of going with this one. It has a creepy vibe of having, you can have like a looming figure right behind it. Hey, Mechtel. Okay, let's see. So let's download this. And I think this for the face. And then we need something for the body. So for the body, I'm kind of leaning towards hooded figure to go with this, with Goya's drawing. Or it's not drawing, it's an etching. So maybe one in robes. Not Harry Potter robes, please. Or wedding dresses. That is indeed a coconut. The word coconut actually comes from, well, Spanish Coco, which comes from this folklore creature. So when they saw the people who named the coconuts, which were the crew of a ship that was exploring, I think, Polynesia or something like that, they saw the coconut, and it reminded them, with the 3 little holes, it reminded them of El Coco. So this is the only, the closest thing we have to a physical description. So I said, let's go kind of literal and use a coconut to do the, like, just to phase out of 3 holes. We just draw the 3 holes, honestly, but I think it's fun to actually use a coconut for a bit more of a realistic imperfections and stuff. I think it'll be fun. Okay, nothing great here. Maybe like hooded. Oh, it's gonna give me hoodies. One more, like something more like robes. We could look for you know, the hooded processions in Spain from Holy Week. The ones that people keep, like Americans keep confusing with the Ku Klux Klan. So if I look for Semana Santa here, I might be able to find something. You know, this kind of hoods, although not with the, like, maybe something that kind of looks like it, but without the big spike. More like these, you know? But we do need a, Now, I kind of like this. But we need to somehow incorporate it with the coconut. So I'm thinking, like, this already has 2 holes. It could be the holes of the coconut are directly on the hood, and we can't see what's behind. Could be fun. So if you're American, please don't get confused. It has nothing to do with Ku Klux Klan. Spanish people are very tired of explaining it. Nothing there. Not a lot of pictures of Holy Week there. All of them are black and white for some reason. Let's look here. Not a lot either. Well, this one has... So this is not something... That's something that is very popular in the south of Spain, these processions. There are some in the north, but it's not like a big thing. But down in the south, it is... They live for this party. Like, they're preparing the whole year for this festivity. You take it very, very seriously. And it's very impressive, honestly. Like, it's so many people dressed like that. Okay. Maybe Wikimedia will have more. Let's see. I kind of like this hooded, kind of empty looking figure, but that's not a picture we'll be able to use very well. Actually, anyone here played Blasphemous? Fantastic video game. And it uses a lot of these aesthetics. In case you wonder where they came from, the people who made Blasphemous are from Sevilla, from the south of Spain. where they have a big culture of this, and it's a very, very big, like, traditional Catholic region. So obviously they take a lot of the aesthetic while not being directly Catholic. You can clearly see the inspiration. It looks gorgeous, but it's not my kind of game. That's fair. It's a hard game. But yeah, even like if you can't get through it, it's worth looking up a gameplay or something, because it's honestly so good. Yeah, this is a statue. I really like it though. Here they are, dressing up the Jesus. The hell is this? Well, game stream. It might be a good thing for game stream. It's a long game though. Might be like just to play a little bit, not to do a full playthrough, because that's a lot of commitment. I was thinking of maybe playing a little bit of Elden Ring, because since it's very open world. I'm still at the beginning area, so I wouldn't spoil too much. But it could be fun for like a one-off stream of playing a bit of Elden Ring. Not great pictures. I love this one. This is with the fake shadow behind it. Yeah, I think it's gonna be back to looking for more generic hooded figures instead of specifically Holy Week ones. I'm not finding the kind I like the most. Although maybe just searching for Holy Week in English could give me something. No, it's the same pictures. And something like cloaked regalia. That's more like king clothing, right? Not here for sure. We should dress him like this guy. No, nothing too good there. Okay, I like this. Cloak definitely was the right word. It was a very good picture. Not something too usable, just like a cool picture on its own. Also used for academic robes. Makes sense. Doing the results. Oh my god. Look at these nerds. I love it. Change to bliss, guys. Okay, this one is a floating robe. It's obviously like Photoshop itself. You can see the clone stamp there. It's a fun edit to do. This is one, if you want to practice Photoshop and just like a creepy ghost picture, just get yourself some white sheets, you go somewhere, you take, if you're smart, you can do it even without clone stamping. You put a tripod, a camera, and you take a picture without you and then one with you. Then you just combine those very easily, remove all traces of your legs, and there you go. You get yourself a creepy picture. Hey Wolf. Hey, desde Venezuela, hola. So I think this one is a good candidate, at least for textures. Not like using it so directly, but some textures. Classic Plague Doctor mask. Here's another one. See, you don't even need Photoshop. If the cloak is long enough, it can just cover you. If you use something called Wavelet Decompose, I don't. Don't know what that is. Hey Rose, hope you're doing well. Oh, this one's good. It's a creepy cloak. What I need mostly is kind of an opening in the cloak to have the... So this one might be useful, even if it's just for the opening here. So we can put the actual face in there. Like creating the creepy hooded figure, it's gonna be most of the edits, so we can take our time and do it right. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. I've heard it through a different name though. I can't recall right now. Frequency separation, is that what you mean? Or something similar to frequency separation. That's more for retouching, for skin and stuff, right? Which I don't do much. This one put some sunglasses on it, nice stylish. Okay, we'll see if we have enough with the ones we already got. I'll download a few. This one as well. I don't know exactly where I use it, but it would be useful anyway. Now we can come back here. Hey, welcome back, Sora. Yeah, no problem, Wolf. Okay. Let's rotate this 90 degrees because we're gonna have a very cool picture. This is gonna be our base. No, that's actually pretty much perfect, is it? Oh, so close. Got a little sliver here. That's not a problem. We'll just cut it to size. Might even cut some from the top. Make it a bit more squarish. We'll see. We got some cloaks, and we got the Coco, the titular coconut. It's funny, it's probably the only fruit named after a boogeyman that eats children at night. It's usually like a very simple circle cut here. I don't know exactly how we'll use the edges, or if we'll just use the center of the face. I like it. It's gonna look kind of dumb, but hopefully we can make that. We can turn the dumb into creepy. That's my hope, at least. Get just this part of the cloak. It's like a very basic construction. See how it's looking. For this one, we'll keep it for textures for now. We probably don't need the bottom part because it's going to be cut by the bed itself. So we're not going to see the legs. It's just going to be from the hip and up, I think. Yeah. Going to be cut over here. Unless we do want to continue it down here, but it's pretty much going to be black there. It's going to be pure shadow, I think. Okay, so now I put this into a group. What I'd like to do is do a little selection of just the bed. Wait, this picture is very grainy. We'll have to go with that level of grain at the end, which is not a huge problem. We like grain here. We are legitimately making a coconut fella, yes. I guess context for people who are getting it here now. The Coco is a classic boogeyman that originally comes from the Iberian Peninsula, either Spain or Portugal, and then expanded into pretty much every Latin-speaking Latin American country as well, with different names. Sometimes there's like variations like Cucuy, Cuca, Coca, things like that, but it all comes from El Coco. It's very old. We don't know when it comes from, but there's written references to it from the late 15th century, like 14, or like second half of the 15th century. I don't recall the exact year, but it's already like an established thing by then, so it's probably older than that. And Spanish explorers, colonizers, saw the coconut for the first time in somewhere in the Polynesian region, and they named it Coco because it looked like this creature to them, with the two little eyes in the mouth. So they named it after this creature, and that went on to be the official name for the fruit. So now coconut is thanks to this boogeyman. Is it Coco for you, Sarah? So yeah, if you guys, if someone in chat here is from any Spanish-speaking country, let me know what your version of El Coco is. Here in Spain, it's just El Coco. It's been like that forever. Oh, no problem, Wolf. There's a million good tutorials, frequency separation. There's several techniques to do it. It takes like a little learning, but it's very nice for, like, in general, every photographer that does retouching I've seen uses it as one of the first steps for any kind of skin retouching. I've used it on occasion, but yeah, I'm not a big retouching person. So on some occasions I had to retouch some portraits for myself, for my friends and stuff. I've used that. Okay, so now we have a basic selection here. It's actually not like the best thing ever. Let me do a little thing. And we use El Coco to refer to the skull as well. That's true. Okay, Let's see if this selection works a bit better. It's a bit smoother at least. Might need some manual retouching, but at least it's a start. Hey, orange. Coco would be equivalent to death metaphor. It's unknown. Nobody really knows where the etymology of Coco comes from, at least according to the Wikipedia article I read. So not a huge expert, but there's some Latin words it might have come from, like the word for cook in Latin, or cocinero would be in Spanish. So it might be a story with like it eats kids. That's like one of its main things. It eats kids. So the cook could have been an origin for it. So it's like it'll come and cook you and eat you. We don't know. I think using it to refer to skull is probably a later thing. Like, it went from the creature to the coconut, and the coconut is kind of a hard round thing that kind of feels like a skull. So then it got retrofitted into skull. That would be my theory, if I were to make any guesses. The English Wikipedia article for the etymology. Let me see, because I read the Spanish version, kind of glossed over the English one. Okay, so etymology: the myth of the Coco, originally in northern Portugal and Galicia. The word, according to the Real Academy, it comes from, coconuts. But that's the other way around, though. Also means skull, but that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, it makes sense that if you go to Coco in the Real Academy, it will talk about coconuts, but if the coconut is named after the creature, then it's a circular argument. If you go to the Spanish version, it has been suggested that it comes from Latin cocus, which means cook. Or even from Nahuatl, like one of the native languages from modern day Mexico. Coquio means damage. So that's all we know. Oh, from the coconut article. Let's see. Etymology. The name coconut is derived from the 16th century Portuguese word coco, meaning head of skull. The three indentation of the coconut with same facial features. Pacific Islanders. The coconut shell reminding them of a ghost or witch in the Portuguese folklore called Coco or Coca. There we go. Or Indian nuts. Hey Philip. We are recreating a very classic Spanish or creature from the Spanish-speaking world called El Coco. It's like the classic boogeyman. There's this rhyme in that at least it's set in Spain. I don't know if it's in other places as well. If it's as extended as the story, but that's usually how you hear about it in Spain as a kid. It's this little lullaby that's duérmete niño, duérmete ya, que viene el coco y te comerá. Sleep kid, sleep now, or the coco will come and it will eat you. That's how you usually hear about it as a kid. But there's not usually a physical description attached to it. It's been described as many different things. So we're kind of like taking little bits and pieces of representations by Francisco Goya, one of the best, or if not the best, Spanish artist to ever live. And we're kind of putting them together The Coco, the creature, is also the thing that gave its name to the coconuts, because it was compared to, because when they found the coconuts, it reminded these people of the creature, so they named it after it. So we're kind of mixing a few things. We're going to use a coconut as a face, so at least like the 3 holes in the coconuts, and let's see if we can make that creepy. Same lullaby on your end. Interesting. I love that. Yeah, so it's all over the Spanish-speaking world. I love that. Exactly. It's like we unconsciously turn it into the creepiest thing to us. I think, which is why boogeymen are not usually very specifically described. Although you can make an argument saying that this is changing, actually. That thanks to readily available images and graphics, nowadays it's very easy to create a boogeyman story. Because thinking specifically about Slenderman and how that became very quickly from an internet thing into many kids believing it in the real world. How that kind of exploded in popularity. And Slenderman has a very specific design to it, right? But it's kind of a typical boogeyman story. It just gets kids, you know? Not that much more to it. Fall asleep quickly or you'll die, exactly. It worked well with me as a kid. Happy my mom never said stuff like that to me. I mean, I don't know if my mom specifically sang that one. I think my grandma probably taught me that rhyme. Because no, my mom's French, so she doesn't have the story of a Coco. So let's see, we also have this one. I think there's boogeyman in Polish folklore. I guess truth was scary enough. Uncontrollable childish energies. I really like this texture. Yeah, it's usually not told seriously. Like, I don't think parents are evil enough to actually like scare the kids that much. Let's see, now the thing is how to incorporate the coconut with the rest into something that's kinda cohesive. I don't know if I should keep the hood there, like this. Maybe we keep it hoodless? Imagine the first time you see a coconut as a Spanish kid. No, because to me, at least, it was never described. The coconut thing is just an association I'm kind of pulling from etymology and the history of the word. But I think one of the points of El Coco is that it's never really described too clearly. It's just a thing. right? It's like, I don't know exactly if there's a translation in English or a similar creature. Yeah, because and I think the two most classic ones, at least in Spain, would be El Coco, from that rhyme, and El Hombre del Saco, or the sack man, who's literally, and this one's more physically described, it's just like a guy with a big sack on his back, and he just carries kids and takes them away. Floating coconut wearing a cloak. I think the humanoid body is just like kind of implied. It's more of a ghostly thing. Something of pareidolia to it, seeing faces in otherwise random patterns. I like that. Or you know, when you, especially when you're a kid, but it happens to me still nowadays. You're trying to sleep, there's still a little bit of lights coming in, and it illuminates just like a shape in the corner of the room that's maybe like, I don't know, some code spiraled under the chair, and for a split second it looks like a human figure, and you freak out. You have like this mini heart attack. It happened to me a lot as a kid, and like I said, it's still happening to me today. I don't know if it's a common experience, but maybe that's El Coco, right? Maybe that's the vibe we want to give. It's this little thing in the corner of your room. You get it too, Sora? 2D, 3D sort of time illusion, yeah. Yeah, what's it? So, boogeyman is an expression I've only heard to talk about, like, you know, a scapegoat or something like, or no, like, not a scapegoat, like more of an expression, but I don't know what exactly is the boogeyman as a creature, like as a concept. Would it be similar to El Coco? Kind of just a general scare kids thing? I'd hang my clothes in a chair so they wouldn't get bundled up and risking seeing faces. I like that. How so many cultures have a similar figure. Yeah, absolutely. It's such a common thing. I love it. Like, one of those things that clearly are appealing to base fears, since it's so common and it popped up independently in so many places. Boogeyman is an entity that punishes children for misbehaving. Could take children away if they don't do as their parents say. Makes sense. Scaring your kids. Yeah, I think the general concept is just scaring your kids. We're kind of reaching a pretty classic ghostly figure with this. So maybe we'll go with multiply and desaturate. And the thing is, we take all these three little holes here. Just gonna draw them in. And here are two ideas. Oh, that's press shift. Here are two ideas that come into my head with this. It's idea number one it's just like empty. So we see like these are the holes in the thing, and whatever's behind it is a Coco, right? The other idea came into my head is the opposite. There's lights coming out of it, kind of acts as a source of light, and it's just like doing little beams coming out like that. It's kind of roughly drawn like this, but coconut face kind of makes me think of Coco from Animal Crossing. It's based on a Japanese yokai. Interesting. Yes, coconut creatures are pervasive, I guess. My so-called dad showed me arachnophobia as a kid. Terrified of spiders and adults. Oof, I'm sorry. Thank you, Snow. So here we kind of lose a bit of the coconut vibe. But it's still like those 3 holes. As a kid, I was most impressed by the pareidolia cars. I saw emotional expressions in the design. Yeah, I did that a lot too. What if we slightly move them like this? Kind of like it's a little bit offset. I don't know, I may still want a hood. Something like, hold on, it's turned around. This one of the few like old representations of a Coco, which is this drawing by Roya. And it's kind of what we're going for with the white cloak, but it kind of ends in a hood, which I like, but it's not the kind of hood we used here. So we might be, I think it might be useful to find some other pictures of hoods and try to see if something will work here. Thank you, Philip. Okay, let's see here. Because the thing, if we just cut holes into the sheet in that way, it feels too much like your classic sheet ghost. And that doesn't remind me, like, it's not the thing I would think about with El Coco. More of a physical thing, more than a ghostly one. I don't know. Did we save this one already? Yeah. Oh, here it is. Kylo Ren hood. be appropriate. See, I like this. You know this picture directly because it's kind of small and we just want this area. But maybe it's hooded, it's kind of cloaked, but the cloak kind of opens up in this little sliver, and that's where we can see the face instead of it being directly like imprinted on the cloak. If that makes sense. Oh, we actually have more of this lady. It's not bad, it's not exactly the angle. Let's see. There seem to be lots of pictures of her, so let's see if any work better. I always thought a Coco would be some entity that could travel in the shadows. Yeah, I like that. Shadow being. Maybe we can go. We can sort of represent that. Like maybe it's as simple as inverting. Oh yeah, that's not great. No, inverting then. Returning the cloak generally, making it feel black, like kind of inky, shadowy kind of vibe. Obviously it is much darker than the room. We can hopefully blend it in. The real question is Coco Chanel a French Spanish boogeyman? Who knows? I'll have to ask her. My only reference to a Coco is from Stephen King's The Outsider. It's an immortal shape-shifting child murderer. I didn't know Stephen King wrote something with a Coco. Interesting. I'm not kids, but make it fashion. Okay, let's see. We have some hair in front of this one. This one might be better. Like just taking this, it's very lit up, like it's under very direct sunlight. It's not the best. Let's see if we can find anything else, but with that vibe, with that kind of just closed cloak like that. Lots of people doing this white sheet goes with sunglasses thing. Not so original now. A night lamp with little stars. We actually found... No, I might have closed it already. But it was... Hold on. It was here. Kid bedroom, I think. I think it might have been under this one, actually. Nope. Ah, damn it. Now I can't find it. Well, if we feel like we need it, I'll try and find it again. Let's keep going with cloaks. That's what they call it since in the southwest United States. So the character is pulling the name from Mexican folklore. Makes sense. It's very interesting actually, the whole figure of El Coco, because it's super old and it's stayed unchanged for at least like 500 years or 600 years. It might be even older than that. That's just like from the first written reference. With folklore stuff, it might be super old and just passed down orally for possibly even hundreds of years before that, before it was actually written down. Okay. Oh, this one's actually good. Okay, I like this. It's also a dark cloak, which will be helpful. If we find anything else. I like this vibe of the light inside the cloak. I don't know if there's anything exactly to do with it, very specifically, but I like the vibe at least. Okay, let's see. So many of the same pictures of people with sunglasses. Come on, y'all. I assume it must have been some kind of Instagram trend. Suddenly everybody started doing it. I have to assume. Hey Dustmite. Hope you're doing well. Trying to find cloaked figures. I'm specifically looking for something in this vibe. Hopefully with different lighting, but something where the cloak is kind of opening. This picture is good, it's just kind of small. It might be workable though. We'll give it a try, you know? Let's see if the size is enough. So currently the cloak is very dark. But since we're supposed to go for kind of a shadow creature, it's not necessarily a problem. Hashtag Cool Goes Challenge. Bidline, thank you for the follow. Okay, let's see here. Come back to the coconut phase. For now, let's try and make the end of the cloak. And we have two slightly different variations. In angle, I really like this one. This is how it opens up here. But it's kind of looking towards the side, which I don't know if it meshes with what we're gonna go for necessarily. We'll see. Let Photoshop give it a cut. Then we'll have to recreate this part here because there's hair in the middle. This part, not important. Goodbye, face. We're now a faceless cloak. I guess this could be option 1, which is very roughly put there, but just to give us an idea, I guess. But if we go for this option, I feel like, oh, I need to take this one as well. Okay. Like, we'd probably need to change where the figure is, because the kid is down here, right? So if it's looking towards the side, it should be either here or here. So it feels like it's looking down at the kid, because it's just here. It's looking away. Doesn't make a lot of sense. But yeah, otherwise, we got this one, and hopefully it's big enough to use. Give that a try. I think this should be more or less the size. Yeah, that's probably good enough to use, considering we'll have to add a lot of noise at the end to match the background noise. There we are. Now, let's remove the face. I don't need your face. Goodbye. Simple enough. It has patterns on it, but hopefully with the level of darkness we're going for, that will kind of blend in, and we can just remove manually whatever pops out. Okay. I feel like maybe we make this a bit bigger to give more of an opening for the face. Fingers, this part here, we could leave that. I'm not opposed to that. Also, save this. We'll see how it blends in. But now what I want to remove is the shoulders mostly. And every hard edge. Okay, so we pretty much desaturate that. Then we darken it quite a bit. Okay, we will have some of the pattern come through. It's not a terrible problem. Because most of it we can just erase and leave this area. Like that. There's not a huge problem there. And that just leaves us with the little pattern that comes through here, which won't be a huge hassle to remove, I think. which does kind of leave the fingers out. Unless we do want to include this fold here. Yeah, I like that. Blends in nicely. Okay, so a few things to blend this in. Here's some colors I'm gonna pick from there. Then a little bit of soft light to just imprint some shadow and stuff. And then it's when we actually try and remove some of the patterns. I think that the difference in quality between this picture and this picture will probably not be so noticeable at the end when we mix things together. Or at least I hope so. If there is a noticeable jump, we'll do some tweaking. I don't think it'll be a huge problem in any case. Dark hooded figure is always going to be kind of scary, right? It's a big classic. Pitbull, thank you for the follow. A few more patterns to remove. The good thing is we don't have to remove them entirely, we just have to make them less recognizably patterns. I think it's probably fine if some of that is left in. Not a huge problem. There we go. Okay. Now I think we do have a nicer base for anything we put in there. Now essentially this black layer is where all the face parts will be situated. So we'll put the coconut there and see what we can do with it. Okay, where are you, coconut? Here. What should we go for? There's the two basic options that I was thinking about is either the face is kind of lit up and we can see some of the coconut texture there, and then the three holes in the coconuts make this. There we go. Are just like dark pits. That's option one. Option two is going the entire other way around and having the three holes be light and have kind of rays of light. This is just very poorly drawn, but just to give an idea, the three rays of light appearing from it. So we make the Coco a light source in itself. I'll have to do this better if we go for it. Possibly even get some reference to use directly. Like some spotlights or something that'll have a little bit more grime than whatever I'm drawing, which is very, very drawn on. Asterin, that Asterin live. Thank you so much for the follow. Multiple coconuts. It's just a pile of coconuts inside. And Coco is just 5 coconuts in a trench coat. Yeah, maybe less intense light. Instead of spotlight, more of a general glow. Yeah, that could be an option. More of a, you know, like glowing eyes in animals at night. It's just it's not that it glows, but it reflects lights from the surrounding area very strongly. So something a bit more like this. Well, actually, I have an action that might work here. I haven't used that in a while, so I don't know exactly how it'll work in this case. But let me give that a try, just for fun. Okay, let me remember how it was. I think I need to put this somewhere on the top and against a black background. And then it might take a long while. Oh, I need to use a 16-bit, which is kind of annoying. Okay, here's what we can do. Just to give this a try. We do this. We put it at 16-bit, create, now we make that dark, we bring in the eyes, just leave them there in the center, and let's give that action a go, and see, it might take a little while, because if I recall correctly it was a pretty long action, but when it's done it should create a sort of light ray effect. Is there any movie or something I use a coconut and a broom? Not that I know. I'm wondering if that's working so far. I think we gotta give it a second or a minute. Very slow action. Yeah, I think in the meantime, while this is kind of going, we can come here and maybe look for spotlights. And try and find something that'll work for us. I kind of like this. Very diffuse light. It has a little pole here that could be easily removed. I kind of like it. Yeah, it's kind of like those long exposures of headlights at night. I like this one. This one might be a bit complex. Let's see, I think the one I got might be good enough. If we even go for that spotlight vibe, which is not a necessity. There's like one of two things we could go for, which are pretty much opposite. One of them is the eyes are like made of pure darkness, and the other is the eyes are emitting light. So quite different vibes. I kind of like these ones, but they feel a lot like stage lights with the smoke in front of it and stuff, which wouldn't really work for the scene we have. Let's see, is Photoshop still going? It is. Oh my god, that's a long action, isn't it? Okay, you know what I'll do? Well, this Photoshop action is going. I guess I can't leave you guys with anything there, but I'll leave you with Goya's Coco. I'll be right back. I'll just go to the toilet real quick. So, be right back, guys. See you in a second. I am back. Hope that wasn't too long. Oh, Photoshop is done. Look at that. That was all that action did. It's a very, very slow action for what it does, but it works well. I used it for the House of Horrors logo, where the light is kind of coming from behind it. Okay. Yeah, below the image it says the Coco is coming, which comes from that childhood rhyme or that lullaby of sleep well, sleep now, kid, or the Coco will come and eat you. Essentially. The steps wrapping on the coconut. Oh my god, I can imagine the noises it makes. Kinda coconut-like. Okay, now I can just pull it in here. Bring it... it's on screen. Okay, makes sense. And that's a much better spotlight effect. It's very clean, so we might have to introduce some variation to it, like some smokiness or something, just to give it some variation, so it's not that perfect. But okay, group that. It's a hood. Is this why the Pixar movie is called Coco? I don't think so. I don't know exactly. I think is a kid called Coco. It's been a long time since I watched it. I mean, I don't know. It might have some inspiration behind it for the name. Coco is not like a regular name, so. Coco is the name of a character. Oh, Mireille is the kid. Okay. See, it's been a while since I watched it. Coco is not worth it. I remember liking it. Okay, let's see. What was I gonna look for? Oh yes, smoky textures. Hey Bob. Let's see. Maybe some dust, some floating dust like this, kind of getting caught by the light rays. Might be fun. And maybe some like slight smokiness to it. Hey! Wow, thank you so much. Very gifted sub. Holes, enjoy that. Now you've assured yourself that the Coco will not eat you tonight. Only subs get that assurance. Okay, some smokiness to that. What's the idea behind these pieces? So this is a folklore creature from Spain and the whole like Spanish-speaking world called El Coco. It's actually what gave its name to the coconut, so we kind of pay an homage to that with the coconut-like face. It's kind of a general boogeyman that has a very, very old origin. Nobody exactly knows where it comes from. Gonna go eat. Okay, enjoy your lunch, Orange. So it's kind of folklore, but you know it's very present nowadays as well. I think every kid has heard a lullaby featuring El Coco in the Spanish-speaking world. It's a very common thing. Let's see, multiply. Yeah, okay. Makes it a bit softer. And let's see. We also have this one, which is just some dust. Oh yeah, folklore is definitely in the present as well. Yeah, I guess what I meant is more like, no, it's not this old forgotten folklore. It's something that has existed since possibly earlier than the 15th century. The first written records of El Coco is from the 15th century. But it might very well be even older than that, for all we know. Okay, now let's go back to the coconuts. This is a coconut, by the way, if you were wondering. I didn't go for the entire shape of the coconut because it's a lot. It would be a very big head for a very small face, so I cheated it a little bit. Now for the color and the face. Should we go kind of coconut-like with the color as well? And give it some brown. Let's see, let's go with the color layer. A couple things. First, we could make it kind of like the cloak itself. Give it a bluish tone. That's kind of boring. Or we could give it more of an orange tone. I actually like this quite a lot. So coconut-like, but with some orange to the light around it. So those beams of light are a little bit colored. Could be fun. I could do that with overlay, color. Let's pick more of a lighter orange. This. Will Americans get pissed off over this? What do you mean? You check out the folklore from Quebec. Got the devil playing the violin, a flying canoe. Made by the devil again, I like that. I should check that out. What would we have you best scared as a kid? Oh, for the general design. I mean, if I saw this as a kid, I would be terrified. whatever. If I saw any strange shape in my bedroom, looking over my bed as I woke up, I would be terrified. Finding a coconut in your bed, like, you know, the little soft hair that coconut has on it. Finding those hairs is an indication that El Coco has been watching you sleep. Ooh, I like the colored light like that. I think we should also give some of that orange light to the cloak itself. So here we have the whole... So this here is everything except for the glow. I'm just gonna call it Coco. And now we can go for color layer. Give everything, the lit areas, kind of an orange tone to them. We go with the lighting in the room, because as you guys can see, it goes from orange to It goes from orange to blue mostly. So what I'm gonna do is apply this and then only make that show up, only make that appear in the light areas. So I'm gonna do this. Find a good spot. The rubber horse is a devil disguised that gallops near towns. Can't pay attention to kids. I love that. Here in Asturias, in northern Spain, we have a lot of stories about this kind of horse devils, I guess. One of them is, well, my favorite one is called El Diablo Saltón, and it's from just a very small region. It's like a very local legend that you might find a horse kind of in the woods or in the wilderness in general that will talk to you, and it will tell you, hey, want to go for a ride? And you can't accept, because if you go for a ride, you get on top of the horse will start running at incredible speed, so you can't get off. It will run towards a cliff, it will jump off a cliff, and then both of you will die. So this horse devil played a trick on you in which he also killed himself, but hey, funny trick. So I really like that one. It's very funny. Just a little devilish trick for you. So yeah, if you hear a talking horse, don't accept a ride. Like, come on. Hey, it's man-made horrors, man. How you doing? Doing good, Willie. Thank you. Man-made horrors, man. I like that. Jumping devil, yeah. Diablo Saltón. Both folklore and true crime say so, exactly. Okay, I'm gonna group these. Did not group. There we go. Let's glow. Similar MO to the Kelpie. Yeah, just, I love folklore about horses being assholes. In general. Just like very evil horses. I just think it's funny. Now let me apply some more of the colors from the background. These ones will be more for the shadows. We got a little bit of blue, a little bit of purple, it seems. And then maybe some overlay, soft light, we'll see what works better. Horses are assholes, it is known, it is known. I know one of very specific creatures that inhabit my country. I would love to. I love very specific creatures. Nothing quite like them. Like, the more specific to a very small population's fears that a creature is, the more I love it. Like how there's creatures in, you know, generally northern areas of the world that basically like hunt you in the shores and in lakes when they're frozen, that are basically to tell kids don't go to the frozen lake on your own because you might fall down into the water, and it's like survival skills, but told through folklore. And I love that because it's both a cool story and it also gives you information about this culture, about this group of people, and what they were afraid of. I love that. It's just lovely. We don't need folklore anymore because we're so aware of the horrible things happening now, so we have real reason to fear. I would say that folklore is very much alive. Even though we're also aware of more modern fears. Like, what are aliens and, general alien conspiracy theories, if not modern folklore? And what they say about the fears of the time. Lighting there. And we still inherit folklore from the past, right? But we're also like constantly creating new folklore, I would say. It's what we do as humans. Right? The world is complicated to understand, so we create stories to explain it. Or to help us deal with these unknowns. Yeah, a lot of folklore is morality tales, morality based, that's true. It reflects the morality of the time, as well as the fears of the time. So that's why I love it. It's like it suddenly explains so much about a society. Horror and things that are supposed to make us afraid are an excellent mirror into society. Yeah, exactly. Cryptids, they're just modern folklore. Mothman, Bigfoot, Nessie. Yeah, especially like I love that cryptids have taken. They're basically folklore creatures. They're like, the stories we've been telling for thousands of years, but since they mutate with the times, and now since magic has kind of been expelled from the real realm of stories and like rational stories, now instead of magic there's science, right? So there's these biologists going out there, or mostly hobbyists, not real biologists, but like people going out there and trying to scientifically study the Nessie, and it tells you a lot about the times. I didn't think I'd like the light emanating from the holes, but I do. Yeah, I'm liking it a lot as well. Because otherwise it would feel kind of empty, I think. Like, we can do a quick check of what it would look like if we removed all of this. I can take the glow here, for example, and invert it to get a shadowy version. now a more generic light instead of directly coming from the holes. And this would be a kind of a rough version of the... There's a mosquito flying around me. It's been a while. They're back. Bastards. This would be a more, you know, non-glowy Coco, and I don't like it as much, I think. It loses a supernatural feel. Yeah, I think so. Okay. Let me see. Let me read Sora's story. I think I gotta scroll up a bit. Okay. El Duende. It's said that it's the spirit of an unbaptized child. It's very short, wears white hats, can cry like a baby. We have duendes here as well. They're more like general imps instead of having a specific story. I think gnome would be the English equivalent to duende, in Spanish at least. But I like the unbaptized child thing. Gives it a backstory. If you encounter a duende, he'll ask you if you want to be hit with a wool glove or with an iron glove. Depending on the version, he'll hit you with the iron glove no matter what, so the wool glove is the one that hurts the most. The bastards. Love him. Walks around town during nap time and takes kids or the elderly to punch them. What a bastard. I love it. Hopkinsville goblins. Yes, I love that. Quebec has a lot of anti-bourgeoisie sentiment. I love that. I love that filtering into the stories too. Oof, nearly caught that mosquito. It's like flying around my hand, so I'm very close to catching it. It'll get stupid at some point, and I'll get it. Okay, here we were then. Yeah, I like that much better. It also has some cool light coming from it, so it gives the scene some lighting to it. Coconut hairs, I like that. Just full of little hairs. It would be creepy, but that wouldn't be really visible at this size, I think. Okay, anything else we can add to this design? Alteros, thank you for the follow. Let's see, I think I need something for the edge here. A bit more interesting, like this. Oh, so. Are you cool with LGBTQ? Yeah, absolutely. Literally dunk on turfs. Oh my god, that was great. That was a great moment. Like, what else? Am I late? No, you're not too late. One more queer in your ranks. Hell yeah. Are you implying we're gathering an army? Oh, don't know where you've heard that. Those are just rumors. I'm not gonna overthrow anything. Hey, thank you.
Saludos desde México. Te acabo de descubrir, me gusta tu trabajo, Valdeblurk.
Muchas gracias. For once, the text to speech worked in its intended language. I think it was very happy to do so. Bart, no quiero asustarte, pero tal vez el Coco está en la casa. Oh my god. We get Simpsons memes. Spanish Simpsons memes. I'm clearly in good company. Okay, we got a bit of a better edge here. So I do want to draw the edge a bit more. Or the shadow of the edge a bit more. To give it some volume, you know? For your Eldritch Horror is my middle name. Hell yeah. Yeah, I love the lighting in this picture. I mean, it was deliberately taken with some colored lights to make a mood, and we're definitely using the hell out of that. So whoever was a photographer, I forget, but we can check it out later, did a great job. Okay, oh, and one last thing. I did want to add a bit more cloak down here, because it kind of stops abruptly and there's nothing under the bed. So at least like continue the shadow of the cloak down to here, so it blocks this area. So let's see. Here's what I can do. I can copy all of this into a layer. And oh, okay, it doesn't really work like that. Fair enough. But just choose like a dark part that kind of continues the shape. A little bit inside it to imply there's some folds. Finally, big man who glows. That's ultimate design right there. Did you just gender El Coco? I mean, it's El Coco, so at least in Spanish, I think in other places it's Coca, so I think it might be La. But El means masculine, so it's by default. I don't think eldritch creatures have a gender, but that's how people gendered it. That'll be my assumption. Just like Boogeyman, it's also implied. Who was a queer writer of Lovecraftian fiction? Hold on, I gotta scroll up. William Pugmire. Interesting. Gotta check it out. God knows that Lovecraft himself was not a big fan of queer people, so I've heard. By the way, this is a safe space to dunk on Lovecraft. We love to dunk on Lovecraft. It's one of our favorite pastimes here. I think I'm gonna leave it kind of unclear with the edge of what its exact shape is. Kind of like it blends in with the background a bit. Kind of calling back to the idea of it's kind of shape you see at night when you suddenly see a pile of clothes and think it's like a human figure or something. Lovecraft was not a fan of any people who isn't him. Is a big old dunk zone, exactly. Is it about my website? Ooh. Let me save that for later. Thank you. I guess one thing I could do is maybe give a little soft light to behind the Coco here. Might have to go with some color. Give a little bit of separation to this side, so it doesn't blend in too much. Give that some blue. Yeah, cosmic horror is the right term. As much as the genre owes to that specific writer, I don't think he's good enough of a human being to deserve having a whole genre called after him. Cosmic horror is the best term. Also, Lovecraftian is such a mouthful of a word. Like, come on. You guys may also use Valdevian if you want mouthfuls of a word. Yes, this is a piece of Valdevian horror. El Coco in Puerto Rico. I love that. I have art question. How do shadows work? That's a question. It's magic, honestly. It's not something... I don't think it's something that I can really explain in words. It's the kind of thing that you kind of have to intuitively like build on your knowledge and your understanding on how light works. Oh, googly eyes! Hell yeah! I thought it was a saber matter. Yeah, it's the kind of thing where you have to like build upon your own knowledge slowly over time, and it kind of becomes an intuitive thing, I would say. But yeah, light is a mess. Angry eyebrows as well, you got it. And let's actually turn one of them around. so they're kind of all over the place. This is where the design actually comes alive, as usual. Here's for angry eyebrows. Let's give him stroke. Not that kind of stroke, just a regular one, please. Beautiful. Here they will be for the rest of the stream. Turn this design into something truly frightening. That's my boy. Saving this and post them on April Fools. I mean, they're all saved. I never delete the googly eyes, so I can always go back into the PSD as long as I saved it, and which is always, and just save it with the googly eyes. So they're all in there. I mean, we've already done the ultimate googly eye creature. If you guys missed it, if it was, I think it was about a month ago, and we did a googly-eyed angel. That was exactly a month ago. Here it is. Oh, His Majesty. Beautiful. Googly Ale, my boy. It was fun making the animation as well. Yeah, and this the audio effects. Looks like a seraphim, exactly. That's the inspiration. Okay, should we try out some final effects? Oh, before that, we need to sign this. I guess there's some new folks here today, so just to explain how my signature works. My signature is this symbol here. It's a V and an A and an L if you want to make Val. Just contracted. Or if you want to, it can also be a V and an H to make my surname Valdevia. It's both things. Anyway, this is a symbol, and instead of just putting it as a watermark or anything, I integrate it into the picture. So I try to find a place where it would fit in each specific picture. And it's also a fun little thing where people who are in the know about the signature will try and look for it in every piece, because it's going to be there. It's going to be sometimes like very well hidden, sometimes more in plain sight, but it's a fun little thing, fun little extra challenge. There is indeed a Discord. It's not your typical streamer Discord for anyone that... Oh, thanks for the same reminder. For anyone that wants to join, it's not your typical streamer Discord. It's not like about me at all. I just run this horror art community. So if you like horror art in general, there's a lot of incredibly talented artists on there. We run little challenges, there's events, all kinds of stuff. Like, just give it a look. Very cozy and chaotic mansion. I like that. You're not finding a tombstone toothpick. Where was it in the tombstone teeth? I think it was on the tool. Yeah, here. You arrived right after googly eyes. Okay, so places for the signature. I'm thinking the bars here. We already have two parallel lines, which is usually enough to go with. We could do like an extra thing like this, so it would add two bars, I guess. We have the window in the back, so there's this one here. Would mean adding two extra bars to the window. Or here, though it would be partially covered, would just kind of be implied. Which I don't like as much. It could be somewhere in the patterns here, though that might be hard both to make and to see. The curtains, we got some lines here that could be used. I mean, maybe, but it would be very hard to see here. Like it's in the middle of a bunch of crossing lines, so it would really kind of blend into everything. How can you drag the image? Just with the hand tool. Oh, yeah, that's an important one. I recommend you do this if you work in Photoshop in general. You go to Preferences, Tools, and you select here Over Scroll. So this will allow you to move your whole document around and go to like outside of it if you want. It's very nice for streaming, for example, because you know my face is here. So if I have things centered, there's always a part that kind of gets covered. So I tend to work with things a little bit off center here so you guys can see it better. I even do it out of stream. It's like I picked up the habit after a few years of streaming. And this other side in the shadows, I mean, it could be added here. It's a lot of signatures we're doing right now. Or even this, no. It's backwards too. Okay, I'm feeling like either this or this. And this is probably the best one, I'd say. Let's give it a try. So let me fix this up because I messed up some things. There we go. Okay, so we can get this whole group. And remove it, and then we can copy some of the bars like that. So we'll need one to create this here. I'll need to cut it very tightly because it goes right over the Coco, so it's gonna need to be quite a decent cut. Here we have the B and the A. Now we need the parallel line. I'll need to fix up that cut quite a bit. Oh, there's a mosquito. Get out of here. Get out of here. Should I have it go all the way to the edge? Yeah, that would probably be better. Now I just need to continue this. Up to the corner, and then we can probably reuse that one. This is the top. Yeah. This might be too big. Hold on. Hey Felix, how are you doing? The mosquito I was talking about is on my mic. What you doing there? Get out of here. Doesn't. It's literally refusing to move. Walking home. I hope Photoshop is visible in the tiny phone screen. How many of you guys are watching on a phone? Maybe curious. Because I assume Photoshop's UI is basically unreadable at phone size. Not that you need to, but... it's probably good enough to see the image and the googly eyes. Oh, have a good dinner, Sora. Okay, now we put our Coco back again. Hey, welcome back, Coco. We missed you. Oh, banger alert. Well, lots of phone watchers. Interesting. Since I always watch Twitch streams when I watch them on my PC. So it's the kind of thing where I assume everyone does the same, but of course not. It would be silly. I understand nothing about Photoshop, so it's fine. Yeah, I mean, the UI is quite small. Definitely not made for phone screens. And it's the biggest. You can choose the size of the UI, and just first, I mean, in general, I set it up for the streams, but it's I use the biggest size possible. So you can't actually go bigger than this with the UI, unfortunately. Okay, we need some slight color corrections. Don't know what's going on here color-wise. Have to fix it up. Okay, so we got a signature now. see. I hope it's subtle enough. Okay, now let's move the googly eyes for a sec as I put everything into a layer. Using Paint Tool Sci for the past decade. Photoshop is... it takes some getting used to. It's a very useful program. Okay, now is when we bring out the personality of the photo a little bit. Alright, we decide how exposed we want it to be. Contrast, we actually add very important things like the noise, as you can see. I don't know how visible it is, especially for your phone people, but there's pretty big noise in the original picture, the base picture we're using. So we have to match the size of it, at least. By essentially just adding some noise on top of everything. So we have to have it be at least bigger than the noise in the background, so it covers it in this new noise, if that makes sense. So it's not going to be a thing that you'll see at full size, but if you zoom in, you'll notice now the noise should be matching. I do want to add vignettes, because that way it focuses the light on our scene here in the center of it. We're not too interested in what's going on the top here. We can actually cut a bit. I'm gonna have to crop. We'll see later if it looks better with the crop or not. There might be still some color mismatch. But let's see, we can add some more color to the shadows here. I think originally it's some kind of blue, between blue and purple. Thank you, Felix. Though I kind of like this blue as well. Turnip Gatsby, thank you for the follow. Let's see, the midtones is basically where it's at, because it's the lit areas of the photo. And I don't think the highlights will do much. A little bit of yellow. This makes everything a little bit darker. Feels a bit more like a night scene like that. The googly eyes. See, every time I do this, I'm editing the layer, and then I come back to the googly eye version. It's never not funny. Okay, there are a few things I want to do in this base layer. I want to see if I can make this area here a little bit lighter. Because it's becoming a bit gray once I add the filters. So just adding a touch of light there. How many photos? It's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus the googly eyes. If I count it right, just on a quick count. Not the best at counting. So here is Coco. Oh, go. Are the coconuts or Coco's nuts? In English, if you want, maybe, but in Spanish, coconuts are just called cocos. So they're literally like, there's no, they straight up took the name from the creature, which, by the way, I guess there's people who've jumped in later. This creature called El Coco is, well, it doesn't have an official description. This is just my interpretation. But it's actually what gives the name to the coconuts, because it was Portuguese explorers. It's a legend that's in Spain, Portugal, and all its former colonies. And it was Portuguese explorers that were on a boat and somewhere in Polynesia and saw the coconuts. And they decided it looked like this boogeyman, like El Coco, and they called it after this boogeyman. So I guess the name everybody in the world pretty much uses for coconuts is just has this strange origin to it. Give you a coconut to drink with a straw. Ah, yeah, I love that. I did some rotations, medical rotations in Brazil for one summer, and there were a ton of, like just stands in the streets of people selling you the coconuts directly, and they would just cut them up with a machete and put a straw in them. You just drink them. I love that. One of the best things from Brazil. Hold on, let me hide the googlies as I figure out a couple more lighting things. Okay, there's still a couple things in the lighting and the cloak that bother me. Let's see if I can fix them before moving on to the last steps. Got a wooden machete, love that. I find it really funny to pronounce things that are of Spanish origin in English. Like the word mosquito, like just how it's pronounced, I find it very funny. Because it's just mosquito in Spanish. So the English pronunciation adds a really strange flair to it that I like. Oh yeah, it might be French. some reason I always assumed it was Spanish. But yeah, you're probably right, that it's French. Machette. Okay, I'm trying to fix up some specific areas that bother me slightly. Research. You guys call it machete. In Spanish, machete, yeah. Yeah, it's the same writing as in Spanish. In English. If that's what you mean. It might be, maybe it's from French to Spanish and from Spanish to English. It could very well be. You know my favorite bad English translation of something from another language? Cockroach. Cockroach is basically like a transliteration. I don't know exactly the word for it, but the Spanish word for cockroach is cucaracha. So they, in trying to pronounce cucaracha, which is hard to pronounce in English, they just took two words that already existed for animals, cock and roach, and they mashed them together, and it says it sounds similar enough to cucaracha, we'll go with it. And that's where the word cockroach comes from, which I love. It's like lazy linguistics. Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse. I don't know how to pronounce it. Thank you for the follow. The etymology. Look. From Spanish, machete. Oh, probably a diminutive macho. Interesting, or matho. So it is directly from Spanish. Interesting. Well, there we go. It's a mystery solved. Oh, yeah, probably. I have one even better. The word car and cat comes from char and chat. But they didn't know how to pronounce the sh. Yeah, that makes sense. Off work. Hell yeah, Mechtel. Hope you enjoy your rest. Okay, I'm liking the shapes in here much more. They were kind of bulging out in weird ways before. Let's see how that works with the camera raw. I feel like the main problem currently is that it might blend in too much with its background. I have a couple things I want to try. First, I want to feather the edge of the cloak because it feels too clean. It should be a bit more natural. At least for that edge and this one here. Oh, it's actually quite feathered already. That's fine. You know how to speak French? Yeah, my mother's French. So I'm not great at grammar, but at least I can pronounce things right. It's a nightmare creature just stealing your Wi-Fi. Evil. That's the biggest evil of them all. How dare it steal my Wi-Fi. There's a mosquito. The mosquito. I'll say it in Spanish. Look at that bastard. It really like stops right in front of me and it's playing with me. It's playing with me. Smart little bastard. It's been a while since we had mosquitoes over here, so it's like winter is finally coming to a close. Mosquito season. Just torrenting all the HBO shows. French makes no sense. It doesn't. Especially when you go from written French to spoken French, or vice versa. It's basically two different languages that you have to learn independently. It's a mess. So that's why I'm much better at speaking in French than I am at writing. Okay, so maybe we make it a little bit brighter and see how that's affected once we add the final camera raw filters. Let's hope for the best. Written French, yeah. Sorry, my pronunciation in English is all over the place. Okay, maybe I'll pick some orange tones and add a little bit on top of that final image. Okay, so for people who are familiar, who grew up with El Coco or El Cucuy or what's the other, any other variation of El Coco, how does this measure against what was in your brain? If you had any image of El Coco in your brain. I actually didn't. El Coco was always kind of a concept for me, but I never saw a physical description of it. So I never really, until now, tried to depict it as an image. Also because my brain is not great at like processing image, imagining very specific things. It's better at concepts than at images. I never like attributed it a specific shape until I put it on paper like that. I wonder how you react to Québécois. Oh, it's basically another language. I understand. It's very, very hard to understand for me. It's like watching a one language drift into two live before your eyes. You're like, I'm supposed to know what they're saying. But this feels like a completely different language to me. It doesn't sound dumb. No, it doesn't. I think people tend to go directly from I don't understand this with an accent to it sounds dumb, or with whatever, try to give it the attributes of whatever stereotype people that speak it have. So like, you know, I imagine like as you guys were saying, Appalachian accents are probably like associated with, you know, the redneck types, right? So it has like a big, I guess, social weight to it. Happens a lot with accents in Spanish here. Like, for example, the accent from where I'm from Asturias, is very often treated as this sort of village people accent. So like, we would say paletos in Spanish, like kind of like the equivalent of redneck. It's often like laughed at in that way, which is silly. It's just like how people speak, right? We humans are bad at removing those associations, I guess. Glowing eyes remind me of my sleep paralysis demon. As scary as it was at Coco, it changed a lot in my mind wherever I tried to imagine one. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be this formless thing, just like a concept. I've heard a bit of Cajun French. The folk sounds similar to Quebecois. Really? I know the Cajun like accent, how it has a bit of French. It feels a bit like French accents to me. As a kid, for some reason, I imagined it to be some kind of bovine abomination. I love that. A cow demon. Hey, welcome back, Sora. Just catching up here. Quebec, we're used to people saying we sound dumb, low class. It says menu, we're not bourgeoisie. I love it like that. Yeah, just like turn the stereotype around. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, so still my biggest worry is that it doesn't pop out from the background enough. Because it has curtains right next to it, so it feels a bit like blending into the curtains, which might be a good thing. I don't know. Just wrestling with it. Often, like, the best way to find out is just try different vibes, like first distinguish it from the background a lot, see how it looks, and decide it on the go what we prefer. So for now we've given kind of its whole shape owing to the orange lights it's emitting. Give it some more orange vibes. Trying to reclaim redneck from the far right, hell yeah. I love Appalachian accent. It's one of my favorites from America. I like it. It sounds like a little bit musical. That makes sense, right? That's a cool rhythm to it. Bastard little mosquito. If you see me like look around like this, it's because I just heard a mosquito like go right over me. This is one that I know of, but he's like, or she is like getting into my face. I like bugs regularly, but if they try to steal my blood, I think I'm also, am I right to crush them? What are the ethics of crushing bugs? Is it okay if they want to steal your blood? Debate. Finger France used to speak like us, so can't talk like him. The accent flips after the French Revolution. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So there's like political implications to the accent. I mean, political from the time, but that's quite cool. Has like history embedded in it. Hey! Whoa! Thank you so much for the resub. And as a repayment, the Coco will not eat you tonight, so you can be safe. Parasites have different ethics. It told me with 2 months, and then after I said it, it changed to 3. I mean, it is 3 months because you already have the badge, so I don't know, some kind of bug, but you got 3 months. You got the little Phil badge. Ticks you can be merciless towards, yeah. Ticks also carry disease, so that's like... And mosquitoes in some places too. Since I cannot stop to you, can you tell Coco to be careful with all the boxes laying around in my bedroom? Okay. He heard you, he heard you. Thank you, Felix. Parasites are shown no mercy. God, parasites are one of the things that gross me out the most. Like, studying medicine, you kind of, guess, I don't know if there's an expression for this in English. In Spanish, I would say, estar curado de espanto. Like, I'm healed from any primary, like, I can't be grossed out anymore. I've been healed from that through studying medicine. There are 2 things that I'm still grossed out by, and it's anything with skin, like any skin disorder. It's for some reason it's like I couldn't even study dermatology because I was looking at the pictures in the books, and I had to kind of cover them with stickers and stuff because they were so distracting. It's that and parasites. For some reason, the idea of some other animal kind of hitching a ride on your body is extremely gross to me. I do want to make some cool parasite horror. It's something that I've had in my bag kind of to make a whole series about at some point. They just gross me out so much. Grow jaded or be over it. Desensitized, yeah. This would be the closest translation. Don't get grossed out by much. There's a horror movie called Thaw, and that movie is painful. It's about parasites getting unthawed. So folks are studying frozen mammoth. Ooh, interesting. And it's a very interesting concept. that actually has some real world repercussions. I don't know about specifically mammoths and parasite they may carry, but people that have been frozen way up north in the permafrost are frozen so well and conserved so well that they carry live pathogens that have been dormant and, if thawed, could potentially release an unknown pathogen that's been dead for millennia back into the world. There have been people found in the Arctic, people who froze there in the early 20th century, who have been found to have the original strain of the 1918 flu, the so-called Spanish flu, still in their bodies, still active. To the point where in the northernmost island of Norway, you're legally not allowed to be buried. There's a joke saying that you can't die in that island, but the reality is that you can't be buried there, because if you bury a body that far up north, it won't get decomposed. It will just stay underground with whatever pathogens from today we're carrying, and might potentially be released when somebody digs it up to study it in 1,000 years. They might just catch COVID again or something like that. And that's wild. That's just a wild thing to me, that these pathogens could be sleeping in wait, and we might not even conceive of them because they might have disappeared millennia ago. It's kind of terrifying, isn't it? I imagine one of those bodies that have been frozen for thousands of years in permafrost. There's one Aussie or something, the caveman, the Iceman, something like that. I don't know if that one's from the permafrost, but that kind of preserved body from thousands of years ago. Oh, I got the mosquito, I think. It fell down, but I think I got it. Anyway, sorry, I was getting distracted. Bodies, imagine finding a body like that, and you study it because it's this amazing discovery, really. You're finding a body from 10,000 years ago, and what might you learn from it? And you inadvertently release a pathogen, a completely unknown pathogen into the world. That's creepy. Terrible things in the eyes. Exactly. It's kind of like The Thing. Similar vibes. Frozen nigga disease, yes. Odyssey, yes, exactly. I think there's an X-Files episode? Really? I don't recall that one. Though I never watched the X-Files religiously. I always watched episodes when I saw them on TV. I should watch it. I should go back and rewatch the whole thing. Yeah, The Thing is amazing. One of my favorite movies as well. It's a horror masterclass. Humans are stupidly resilient. We are. Trying out some other color things. Adding some orange to the background. I don't love that as much. I like that the orange kind of comes from El Coco, so anything that's behind it is just blue. Also, F's in the chat for the kid who's down in there. So how I imagine this is that there's the perspective of the kid who's behind the cover, and he's imagining this El Coco right over him, right over them, looming over. When you'd hide under the covers as a kid, and you were terrified of the dark, and you were like, oh, and now I'm down here, I can't get out, because if I get out, there's something whatever's out there is waiting for me right over my bed. So I imagine this from like the point of view of the kid. So that's why I'm going like kind of magical and fantastic with the thing. It's not supposed to be found footage of, you know, the real Coco found. This is supposed to be the point of view, I guess, so the point of view of the kid's imagination. That makes sense? So we don't even know if it's El Coco. It's just like whatever this kid imagined El Coco to be. If exactly, you're fine while you're under the covers. The covers are safe until you notice your toes are out. Covers gave me a little static shock, so it scared me even more. Oh no. Yeah, but I like this. I like this story because it feels like the Coco is kind of made from the same material as the curtains behind the kid. So maybe the kid kind of took a quick peek at the curtains and felt like in that millisecond, it felt like some human shape was in the curtains, kind of coming out of to try to get him, and they just got into the covers, and there's like their imagination of it. That's fun, right? I like that. I got over my fear of the dark by antagonizing the scary things. I convinced myself I was scarier than them. That's powerful. That's powerful. That's something we can all learn from. The monsters are more scared of you than you're scared of them. And here's a difference there with the lighting. That's the manual lighting I added at the end, which I think helps quite a bit. It looks like it might have been the moon. I like that, yeah. I surrounded myself with plushies. I love that. Valley Little Gardens. I only had one nightmare as a child, and it was about Slimer from the Ghostbusters. I love that. Oh, here's a color thing I want to try. Since this area below the covers is not being lit up directly by the face here, it's kind of facing away from it. Maybe it should be blue, like the curtains here. Maybe some purplish tones as well, to kind of fade into the blue. Oh, go. And the difference here would be, well, I guess I can't go that far back, but yeah, I kind of like this more in blue. It calls less attention to this part of the covers, focuses more on the important things. Purple, yeah, blue, purple, orange works great. Fill the bottom of my bed with boxes because demons as serial killers can hide under it. Very smart. Dream quality. I like that. It's a good vibe to have. Hypnagogic hallucination. Yeah. Oh yeah, street lights behind it. That also makes sense. Oh no, the mosquito is back. So I didn't get to kill it. I was so sure I had. God damn, you little bastard. He wants my blood. I won't give it to her. It's mine. Those movies that pretend to be supernatural but end up with some woman living in the wall. Yeah, they should just commit and be supernatural. Like, come on. Commit to your shtick. She needs it for babies. But I don't want more mosquito babies. Because they'll get more blood. So that's not a good cycle to get in. When do you stop? When do you stop giving the mosquitoes blood? It's kind of a weird blend here between the bar and the coat with a cloth. Kind of does a weird hard edge actually. Hold on, maybe I just have to go back here and fix it. Oh, hold on. There we go. It's quite a change after you've seen seeing the original again. Oh yeah, there's definitely a strange edge here. I think I'll just cover it with this, so it becomes a soft edge. I vote for kill the mosquitoes with impunity. Yeah, if the one living in the wall is a ghost person, then I'll accept the narrative. Otherwise, unless it's previously established, I don't like the other kind of reversals either. Like, Hereditary is a movie despite apparently everybody loves that movie. I thought it was quite a good movie until suddenly, like, I'm gonna spoil it for people who want to watch it, but it suddenly takes a complete turn from what seems to be psychological horror to a very literal horror, and I don't like that. Like, choose a path and stay on it. But the weird reversals of you either think it's a ghost and it turns out not to be a ghost, or you think it's gonna be a whole psychological thing, like it's all in your head kind of vibe, and they suddenly reverse that. It's slightly tiresome. Okay, there we go. I like that much better. Also, the googly eyes. Can't forget about them. You love it for that turn? See, I might be on my own there. demons are fine, the mosquitoes need to go. Absolutely. You're the opposite. I like it when things turn out to be very literal. Interesting. You know what I didn't like about that turn is that it's like when it came. If it had slowly geared up to it, I would like it much more. But I just like didn't expect it. I didn't expect this like more in your head kind of horror to suddenly become like some much more external. Yeah, like I thought it was gonna be Babadook, but more psychological. It's great, Babadook, gay icon, absolutely. I would say, and that's probably an unpopular opinion, but I love Babadook way more than Hereditary. Might cut a little bit of the top here. And I like Midsummer way more than Hereditary. I thought it was way better built. But I still choose Babadook over the two of them. Have any of you seen Netflix stop motion horror The House? I have not. Stop motion horror. Well, I'm definitely noting that one down. Houser. That sounds very cool. You had me at stop motion, absolutely. I think stop motion and claymation have its sort of inherent uncanniness to them that make them work for very well in horror. Like, yeah, it's so easy to make it fall into the uncanny valley that if you actually like ride with that uncanniness, it creates a dissonance I really love. But I'll be honest, haven't found a horror movie that I originally like yet. Interesting. Yeah, the janky vibe. It's usually low frames per second compared to other types of animation. I don't know, I like it. Stop motion has a lot of potential for uncanniness. Okay, in terms of the Coco, I think that there's not much more to do here. Let me give it a save. A bit you can, since I think the art part is done. One of your favorite singers made a stop motion music video that veers into horror. Ooh. Interesting. Yeah, exactly. Coraline is a very good example of that. Very like stop motion used for horror in a very good way. I don't know. It's such an unsettling movie. The whole vibe of it. It works so well. Cape Town song Green. Check it out. Oh, it's so good. I need to rewatch Caroline. It's I don't know. I saw it when I was a kid, I think. The last time. So it's one of those movies that kind of left they leave some very strong images in my brain, but I don't recall the exact plot of it. I just have like images. And like what I remember from seeing like little scenes and stuff on the internet, but I definitely need to rewatch it. Yeah, I think stop motion holds up nicely because it is what it is, right? It's not like there's huge leaps and advancements to be made. Stop motion from right now doesn't look super different from stop motion from years and years ago. It's not like VFX, which constantly get old. It's very stylized, yeah, exactly. Mirror Mask. I don't think I know that one. I note it down as well. It does look cool. The few images I'm seeing. Yeah, it does look like some of the image. Is it like a mix between stop motion and actors? Something like that. The effects look janky, but in a fun way. Definitely interesting. Another one to check out. I was excited about people knowing about Mirror Mask, apparently. Designed by Dave McKean, who did the art for Coraline and Sandman. Interesting. Friend of Neil Gaiman. I love that. And it was written by Neil. Okay, interesting. Oh yeah, if it's by Neil Gaiman, it's gonna be good. I always come out of streams with a good list of movies to watch, which is nice. Always good. Lots of cool stuff to watch. Is it if we look at the Coco here, is it very apparent that it's a coconut? If you don't know that it's a coconut. A Valdevia book club, but for movies. That would be fun. Like I give everyone a movie to watch and then we talk about it. It'd be a fun little stream thing to do. Doesn't give you good coconut vibes. And that's good. I think what I'd like it to be is sort of reminiscent of coconuts, especially if you know that Coco is what gave us the word coconut, but not like the first thing you think about, hopefully. Yeah, we should do more Discord movie nights. The monster, yeah, that's from Nightmare Before Christmas. I made it for Halloween. Nice little mask. Hold on, let me get it for y'all. Hand fell down. No worries. It's resistant to that. Here it is. It still holds to my head, which is nice. Made of papier-mâché. But I made it for Halloween. I actually wore it for a whole stream during Halloween, which was fun. Oh, my hair is all over the place. But yeah, I keep it back there. Well, now it's not gonna hold up because support structure fell. But yeah, this is my first experiment with papier-mâché. I mean, the back is a mess because I just wanted something to hold to my forehead, so it held. So it's just kind of taped on there. It was like a last minute thing. But the mask took like a week to make. It takes a long time to do a good papier-mâché, but honestly, I made two. The other one, I don't have it here. My partner has it, but it's the barrel one, so the one that looks like a little skeleton. Very cute. A Carrie musical. I didn't know that existed. Yeah, nobody sees it back, so doesn't matter. Making a bestiary. Ooh. Share. Feel free to share some in the Discord if you don't mind. I'd love to see it. Oh, let me note down that I did the Coco because I had it here on my list for a long time. It's one of those things I've had as a kind of a backup idea to do at some point, and we actually in the podcast yesterday, which if you missed it, check it out. It's a long one, but it's kind of like one of these streams where we do art. But we did some art live, and it was great. But yeah, we mentioned that we mentioned the Coco, so I was like, okay, I have nothing like commission-wise to do today. So let's do that. That's kind of a last minute idea, but it came out well. It's one of the things I'm pretty confident I'll be able to make just in the moment, because it's not hard to find pictures of, you know, cloaks and coconuts. Willow the cat was very cute, yes. Prodigy's Warriors Dance music video is cool. A lot of things to watch after this stream. Yeah, definitely check out the podcast later if you're still craving some long form art content. We made some very fun stuff. I'm gonna show you guys the two things I made. I don't have the one Abs made because she still has to finish it, but I mean it's pretty much done when we finished. But God, it was looking beautiful. The ones I did, one of them also features Abs art. I just like cleaned it up. And hold on. Okay, so one I did, this one is entirely mine. It's a medallion of Saint Christopher, a saint that is often represented with a dog head. Obviously, you guys know that this is for the Lycanthrope series. And then, oh, this is the one Abs did. God, it's so beautiful. Just look at this. I just did the aging and made the pencil look more like an engraving. And yeah, just like, you know, put it in context, put the text and everything. But this just 99.9% is Abs, like absolutely killing it. So gorgeous, yeah. This is obviously, it's for Lycanthrope series. It's gonna still be a while until we post it because we have a whole part of it, like a whole chunk of art to post before that, which is gonna be about prehistoric werewolves. And after that, there's gonna be this little series on Lycanthrope myths. So like the stories they told each other and how that reflects on their like set of ideas and culture. So one of them is Saint Christopher. It's like their main saint, right? It's described in especially in Orthodox Christian sources, described as being originally a dog-headed giant that came from a land far away where people had these dog heads. Eventually he came across baby Jesus, who told him to carry him over a river. And since he's giant, he can just do that. He can just walk over the river, of course. So he carried the baby Jesus on his shoulders, and it started getting heavier and heavier and heavier because, you know, it's baby Jesus. He has that power. And he held on and crossed the river. And baby Jesus, as a thanks, gave this dog-headed man a human form. So it's the myth that the lycanthropes would use to justify how they can transform between human and lycanthrope. Like they've been gifted this human form directly by God. So all the texture of the paper, it's parchment. It's meant to be parchment. Yeah, the swirls in the mane and the swirls in the water. And then as Abs was doing another piece, which I can't show you right now, but you guys can see in the video. You'll be able to see it after the stream, and the videos below the channel. It should be the last one from yesterday. And then I did this medallion, which is an actual medallion of... It's very common to have medallions of Saint Christopher, because he's the patron saint of travelers. So a lot of travelers would wear this medallion, and that's why it's kind of used up. It's kind of scratched and old. And he recombined this real medallion of Saint Christopher with a... what was it? Roman coin featuring the she-wolf from Roman legend. So I took the head from that, and since it was kind of also an old used up coin, it fit very well into the medallion. I think it fit pretty nicely. So we'll actually have 3 pieces of art to go with the St. Christopher story. But then I also want some pieces of art, both by me and by other artists. I still don't know who's gonna make them, but some pieces of art to go with the Lycaon myth, which is kind of like the lycanthropes' originary myth, how they conceive themselves as appearing in the world. And it's about this king being cursed by Zeus and basically again turned into a lycanthrope. And the king has 50 sons spread all over the world. So all of them, owing to their nobility, they try to present it as if they were descendants of this ancient king of legend who probably didn't even exist. So it's going to be Lycaon, it's going to be St. Christopher, and then other werewolf myths. We still haven't exactly decided which ones. There's a wolf-headed god from Egypt, from ancient Egypt, called Wepawet or something like that. Not great at pronouncing this kind of thing. There's some Celtic gods. There's some more modern stuff that could be like mythologized a bit. So there's lots of stuff to explore in this series still. It's so exciting. Does this mean there's a non-religious or pagan version? Yeah, so the Lycans in this story, they kind of adopt Christianity as, at least in Western Europe, which is a bit like where the series focuses more on. In Western Europe, they kind of take Christianity and remold it to their own beliefs to justify what they already do. Like they eat humans, but they do it because God told them to, essentially. So they have this warped Christianity that they use. But there's also pagan stuff from before then, right? From before Christianity. Depending on where, they would also have their own versions of their pagan myths or be part of those pagan religions in a way. For example, in Celtic myths, there's a lot of the conflation of warriors and wolves. Like warriors would use wolves as like wolf pelts, put wolf pelts on themselves to like there's some, and this is real life stuff. There's like a great place to put the werewolves or the lycanthropes from the series into this actual historical context and say, like, you know, maybe the warriors from that culture were lycanthropes, and this was like before Christianity. So there's a lot of space to explore, to be honest, if you go back into ancient cultures. Repurpose mythology. Yeah, it's great. Also, Larktopia. I missed the follow. Thank you. The old Werewolf the Apocalypse RPG. I haven't heard of it. We were actually recently we were talking about this one background scene in the Harry Potter movies, which I could probably find here. Here, I think it's. Well, hold on. If I go videos, yeah, it's. I'll put it without sound because it might get. Oh my god, this is terrible. Hold on. Here. Without sound because it might get copyrighted, but it's this scene in Harry Potter where Snape is giving this lesson on werewolves, and in the movie they did this great thing with a presentation in the background, and it's a slide presentation. And if you guys like the Lycanthrope series, I mean, this is basically it. So let's see, and I'll try to pause on some of the slides. But it's amazing. They probably commissioned some artists to do each of these slides, and they're fantastic, each of them. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Okay, so one that we're actually doing within the series is this one here. This one is cave paintings with lycanthropes, and they're actually going to show up in the next part of the series. Then there's Egyptian, which again, we talked about this Egyptian god existing. There's a Vitruvian man, which I love this piece. They kind of only show the top of it, which is a shame, at least up close. But it's like the Vitruvian man from Da Vinci, but with a werewolf. And I love it because it has, since it has 4 arms, right, to show different angles. They have the human ones and the werewolf ones, kind of showing the transformation. It's a really cool take. And let's see, this one is actually something we also have thought about doing for the series, doing ancient vases like that. Yeah, all these roll. And some of them aren't given, like this one here. It bothers me so much because it gets covered by Snape's face. And this, I think it's like Indian or something. The several arms. Ah, look at this. I want to see more. Here it is, here it is. That's probably the clearest view we get of it, but it's cut off. And I think there's another one that we can see clearly. Here it is, the mosaic, which again, I already did a mosaic with this. Like it fits perfectly. And I think that's all the ones that were shown. There's one that appears for like a split second, and I think it's a different one, but they cut it out, unfortunately. Isn't the Harry Potter werewolves an AIDS analogy? Maybe, but specifically with the character. Don't recall his name. But I really love that take on historical werewolves. It's just a background thing. It's a tiny little thing in that movie, but it's the same thing in the series we're doing. Obviously, it's a more basic take on werewolves, where it's just like these feral beasts, but they're trying to represent them through our history. In our case, it's a more specific take on werewolves as the, kind of taking the role of vampires. It's the aristocracy. It's the monster that's supposed to represent the aristocracy or whoever's in power at the moment, right? So the werewolves always stay in power and abuse it in a way, because they are metaphors of that power. They're just they're literal monsterification of the actual monsters in our society, in a way. I don't know if that's a good way of putting it, but I think that gets the point across. Yes, the Beast of Givaudan, or Givaudan. I don't know if it's Givaudan or Givaudan. I don't know. Anyway, just gonna say Givaudan. Beast of Givaudan is a fantastic story from, I think it's 18th century France. It's from a village in southern France that where reports start coming out about this beast attacking people and livestock. And the most likely explanation is that it was just a big pack of wolves that were just causing some mayhem, but through the early press that took the story and ran with it and tried to make it into this huge story, and people's overactive imagination and turn into this beast. There were actually theories even nowadays of people saying it might have been an escaped hyena from a zoo or an escaped lion from a zoo, but it's most likely that it was not even a thing. It's just like a pack of wolves that for a time were it was too big, so it was kind of like starting to go out of its way and attack humans because they were hungry. That's the assumption. But it got to the point where the King of France at the time put out a reward for anyone who caught the beast. And there's people who claim to catch the beasts and they just kill the big wolf. They brought the dead wolf over to the king, and the king was like, "That's clearly not a beast. That's a wolf. You're not getting any money. You're not getting money." Which I love. Like, the story of the beast was so exaggerated that the moment where actually someone brought what could have been the likely culprit, like just a big wolf, it just got shunned, but because it's not a beast. So I love it, and it's actually one of the things we're thinking of covering for this like werewolf myth series after we're done with the ancient werewolves. So Saint Christopher, Lycaon, and the Beast of Givaudan are like the three biggest things. So we'd need to find a way of mythologizing it and turning the beast into a sort of hero for the werewolves, or a cautionary tale for the werewolves, something that could be turned into like myth or folklore for them. I don't know, that's the idea at least. How to decimate the wolf population. Oh yeah, I mean, that's all over Europe. Wolves are, even in the British Isles, I think there's no wolves anymore. They're extinct in that area. Over where I am in northern Spain, there was a huge population of wolves back in the day. It got reduced to pretty much nothing. They were close to going extinct for a while, and now through conservation, they're actually like thriving again, which is nice. I mean, it's not nice for people herding livestock who are getting attacked, but you know, it's always gonna be a balance. At least they're not extinct though. Some crusty French wolf hunter walks into a royal court and scrapes his fingernail. Yeah, but I don't exactly know what the angle for the Beast of Givaudan would be, but there's got to be a good angle for it, like an interesting twist to give it, because you got to turn around and have the beast be the hero of the story in a way, or at least the cautionary tale, like some way of turning it into something that would be useful to the werewolf society. Maybe it's a cautionary tale against like not going feral and starting attacking people too much, and being like discreet and staying in your lane, so to speak. Because if you start going wild and attacking a bunch of folks, you'll get too many eyes on you. And I don't know, I like that, it's fun. We'll see what we do with that one story. Definitely something I want to cover though. But yeah, that's the future of the werewolf series. There's also the magazine project, which keeps growing. Every time the series grows, that grows in scope as well. But I want to cover all the werewolf stuff we do, put it into this fake history magazine, and I don't know. It's gonna be like a nice way to round out the project. Even if we don't include the last series we do, at some point I do want to like put everything we've done so far and group it all in there. I'm still like halfway through it though. It takes a while. It's gonna be a massive PDF. Oh, it's gonna be physical. I mean, you could also do the PDF for people who can't afford it. Yeah, that'll definitely be an option. But I would just love to have, it's the kind of those kinds of magazines that you have lying around at home, and you put it in the guest bathroom, you know. It's like it's a magazine that won't go old. You can just put it there for any guest entertainment. So having that kind of history magazine, but about a completely fictional thing, is very funny to me for some reason. But yeah, it'll come out eventually. I'm working on it on my own, so that's why it's taking a while. Cheap tabloid rag. I mean, it's gonna be cheap. I think it's not gonna be much more than $5 per magazine. It's a short-ish one, so yeah, the idea is to include all the pictures and all the lore kind of written in a more magazine way. But basically the same lore, a bit expanded because there's more space for text. So there's going to be like their actual history, which we've written, but we haven't really had space to include in all the tweets. Yeah, like a zine, but like a fake history magazine, which, hold on. You know, this kind of history magazine that, you know, has like big pictures of old stuff in them and little timelines. We've done one that's an ad for an old-timey silver colloid. So definitely do some fake ads and stuff like that. I don't know. Could be fun. Yeah, if you got some design, some magazine design expertise, I could use your advice, I'm sure. But yeah, so far it's a long-term project that's kind of growing as the series grows and continues, and eventually will be put together. So it's not like a right now thing. It'll happen eventually though. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it for the day. I don't think there's any more cool art to make. I'll give it a quick check to see if anybody's out there that I could raid. Okay, there's Yapiko. I think we could raid him. Okay. Then, Yapiko's playing Elden Ring, and apparently he's going to do some art later, according to the title of the stream. You're a graphic designer, video editor, yeah, and I'll call upon you if I need help. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for today. We're going to go raid Yapiko. Go follow him. Is great, fantastic artist, and just like great entertainer as well. So really fun stream to watch. Hit the raid counter, and you guys, I will see you real soon. I'll see you on Wednesday, same hour as usual, for some more art, so don't miss it. Okay guys,